Alrighty, everybody. So I got my teapot. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Hope you're having a great afternoon.
Oh, it's beautiful out.
Um, at the end, let's see. I'm just trying to, okay, so nobody's in the thing. Okay, so um, I just get my desk organized, myself organized. Okay, so you have your materials list, and then I will send out after a little handout that I made that just kind of gives you a quick little overview. So that will go out in the email that I'll just resend it to everybody. Um, that way, you guys, if you can't print it out, that's okay. We'll we'll you'll still have it, and then this will be not only on my Patreon, it'll be available on the Patreon, but it'll also be available on my YouTube channel, the Herbary. So if there's anything that you miss, you can always go to the YouTube channel and pick up, you know, the notes and stuff there. It's always that. So I want to welcome everybody to the last Sunday of the month. Oh my God, September's tomorrow. Are we ready, ladies?
Ready.
Um, yeah, so this is a big the first week of September is always it's bittersweet, it's sad, but I'm excited for fall. I have a lot of big changes coming. Um, Not only have I moved, I'm in my little Connecticut studio now. I've downsized, and then I have the Herbary, which is in up north in northern New England. And I'll share more about that, where it is exactly in the state and all that stuff. But things are still a little up in the air, so I'm just kind of keeping that close to my chest. Close friends and family will know, but until I can get that organized. Um, so other than that, we ready to go? Let's get
Yeah.
into this.
Can you see me, Brenda?
No, I can't.
I like my picture's not showing up all of a sudden, but I'm here.
Okay, well, thank you, sweetie. It's good to see you. Sue is coming from Canada. You're in Saskatchewan?
That's correct.
Yay, I got it.
Yay.
Sue is in my other herb group with herb gals.
I
So,
just love your classes so much.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting and coming and supporting me. This is sweet. Heather is local. She just lives down the road. She does galactic astrology and she does healing. And so Sue and Heather, you should talk to
Oh,
each other. Okay.
absolutely, because I've been sending out into my field to connect with an astrologist. I don't know who.
Here
I
I
want to
am.
talk to you, Heather.
Okay.
So put your info in the chat.
Absolutely. So
Thank you, Brenda.
you're welcome. Sue's an herbalist too, and she probably knows more about this stuff than I do, or can explain it better. But she has her own little practice out in Saskatchewan,
Wow.
and so yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys are going to connect. See, we're a global community, international.
International for sure.
Okay, so let me share my screen.
Martina's on her way.
Okay, cool.
Gonna do it. Well, she's gonna hang here.
I think if I
I'll probably sit on the couch then.
um okay, so we have our herbs ready to go. I got my pile over here. So, all right, so shall we? Now you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Perfectly. Okay,
I was gonna
cool.
make it bigger. How do I make it bigger?
Can you make it bigger or do I need to make it? Well, I'm like, if I go too big, I can't see what I'm doing.
Okay.
But it's the I don't know whether, hang on just a second. Let me see whether I can pull it up on my phone. Okay, I left the meeting. All right, so now you guys can see this, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Looks nice.
Okay, so welcome to the Planets and Plants Connection. I want to welcome everybody to this cool little thing. So this little bit is astrology and how astrology works not only in the universe as in our birth charts, but also in our health and wellness and the herbs that we use. There's all this interplanetary connection here. So as always, you ladies know this, this is for informational purposes only. If you have any questions about your health, call your doc. This is not meant to substitute or treat anybody. This is just for educational purposes. Okay, so we have our first planet, Moon.
Mm.
Okay, so Moon is a water element. And moon is cool and moist. So when you think of herbs that are related to the moon, we think of cool herbs. The moon also has to do with our internal, our mind. This is, the moon has emotions and cycles, and it's also related to home. And if you guys have questions, please stop me, okay? So the tissue states or the tissue focus that the moon represents is the stomach, the fluids, the reproductive cycle, and sleep. So we're all women here. We all know what bloating is like, you know. So we retain water, there's tension. Our sleep cycles are messed up, especially around a full moon. So we're a quarter, which today is a quarter moon. So the energy is building up. Now the moon is really, I think, one of the most significant planets in our chart besides the sun. Well, the sun I think is more ego, but the moon affects us physically and emotionally, I think more so than some of the other planets because it is so close to Earth and its gravitational pull affects the planet and everybody on it. I don't care where you are on this planet. When there's a full moon, the pull, the gravitational pull for the moon is literally expanding the planet, the Earth. And that's why we have tidal changes. That's why we have sleep changes. They call our reproductive cycles, moon cycles. You've heard, people go a little nutty. You've heard of the word lunatic. Okay. The moon is causes this, all of this. And if you are watching the moon cycles, paying attention, you know that when it's a waxing moon, waxing on, like remember that old Karate Kid thing, waxing on, waxing off. So it's waxing on, the moon is getting brighter and bigger, and then waning off. It's going slower, it's decreasing, and it's going to the new moon, and then we start the cycle all over again. So these are the tissues, tension and water retention. And the first herb we have is chamomile. So do we have your chamomile? This is what chamomile looks like. Hopefully I won't make a mess. Probably. Let's see. I wonder if I could put this on a plate. I have a plate. Can you guys, let me just stop the sharing so you can see. So we know chamomile. Chamomile is a sweet, it smells, I don't know, it smells very sweet. Sue, do you have chamomile in front of you? I just love this and it's also an herb that's great for kids. So if you have, that and lemon balm, and we'll get a little into lemon balms later. But if you want an introductory herb, that helps kids calm down. Start having tea parties with your kids and serve them chamomile. You can also serve it to them before bedtime. You can have a bedtime ritual that you can make. You can drink this hot or cold. But chamomile just has this lovely earthy scent to it.
I love chamomile. And I thought that we had chamomile growing everywhere, like where my new place is.
Yep.
And I dug up one of the plants that was in the boulevard because it was just all weeds, in quotation marks.
Yeah.
And hoping it like somebody didn't plant it there. And then we saw it everywhere. And I planted it in my garden. And then I started making tea from it, and it didn't have a scent. And I found out it's mayweed
Oh,
or
it,
a scentless chamomile. It looks
oh,
exactly the same, but it has no scent.
oh, that's too bad.
I
There's
know.
German chamomile and what's the other one? Roman chamomile.
Yeah, I had German at my other place, and so I was so excited to find it here, but it wasn't medicinal cannabis or medicinal
Hmm.
chamomile.
That's too bad. All right, let me see if I can't. Let's see. Um, I expanded my screen again. I'm not used to Zoom like Carol
It
is.
it may be like I looked it up because I see a laptop screen and I think you may have set it so that I can share my screen. So I think it's on your end, Brenda, because I'm not sharing my screen on my end. But don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. I don't see your laptop. I just see um my
It's an icon and it means that I'm allowed to share my
Oh
screens.
yeah. Everybody's allowed to share their screen.
No, like in terms of files.
Oh, okay.
So it's something on your end, like before Heather came in, that you set it for me to also share my screen
Okay.
for
I
the
am in the
future.
drawing mode. I am like so lost. Okay, come on.
That's okay.
This thing is driving me nuts. Okay, so you can see my screen now, right?
I can see you, Brenda, and I can see Heather, and I can see the body tissue focus.
Okay.
Yes.
Oops. The only problem is that I want to go back and I have this little icon thing here and I don't know how to move it out of the way. There it goes. All right, now I can use my screens. Okay, so we have, ooh, we'll see, this is what happens. So we're on chamomile. All right, sun, that's the next one. Woo, boy. All right, so their next herb is the sun. And the key words we want is fire and it's warm and it's dry. And the vitality, clarity, circulation, and joy. We all know what the sun does for us. We get excited. We love the sun. We're so much healthier and happier when we're out in the sun. That's that vitamin D working for us. And then it's ruled by Leo, which is the vitality. So that's the part of the body. Where's my Leo thing? Hang on. So Leo is known for I will. That's the key phrase. The moon is I feel. So Cancer rules the moon. And so if you know somebody who has Cancer, they may use the word I feel. I feel like, they feel everything. They are very intuitive. They feel the entire room and everybody's emotions, and sometimes it can be super overwhelming. So Leo is Leo the lion, I will do this. Da da da. Whether they follow through or not, I knew a Leo, and he always had great ideas, but follow through was a little hard. So Leo tissue states is the heart, circulation, and metabolism. So if you're Leo, if your sun sign is Leo, chances are you may need to kind of pay attention to your heart, your circulation, and metabolism. You may feel weakness, chill, or fatigue is the tissue state. Where's this? Let's see, what else? Oh, yes, Leo is I will. And then what are my other notes here? So some of the examples for the road. Now there are other herbs. This is just one herb. I tried to make this as simple as possible. So I picked rosemary because rosemary is great for memory. It's great for circulation. It increases blood flow. That's the reason why it's great for memory. But there's other herbs like motherwort and St. John's wort. But St. John's wort you have to be very, very, very careful with, because if you're taking any antidepressants, St. John's wort can increase that medication or decrease that pharmaceutical. So you really don't want to be taking St. John's wort if you're taking any kind of pharmaceuticals, because it just the interactions between herbs, it's notorious for doing that. So if you're not taking any antidepressants, then St. John's wort also takes a long time to take effect. So you may have to take it for a few months before you just suddenly you realize, oh wow, I'm feeling better. But rosemary is a great herb. You can either rub it on your meat, put it in your soup. You can actually add it to a tea. I would highly recommend adding rosemary to as much. I like to eat meat, and so I love rosemary and lemon chicken. I make that a lot.
Brenda, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What were the tissue states of Leo? There's chill, and what were the other two?
Let's see, Leo is sun, right? Weakness, chill, and fatigue.
Okay. Oh, and you said we'd get a handout on this?
Yeah, you'll get a handout on this. So
okay, perfect. I don't have to write it.
It'll come back. I'll give it to you. So that you'll have an energetics handout that tells you it brings warmth, circulation, clarity, and joy. So you just need to remember warm and dry. Now there are some herbs you'll see that'll have a combination, because they have two signs that are in ruling over. Okay. So the next planet is Mercury. Now this is one of those duality planets. It's air and water, because Gemini is air and Virgo is water. And so it can be warm or cool. So either you can be boiling, or you can be cold as ice. It can freeze or melt. So if your Mercury is in your first house, so next to usually Mercury follows the sun. So a lot of times, if your Mercury is a couple of degrees next to your sun, you may be eclipsing. Your Mercury may be eclipsing your sun. And so you may have more water. You may be more into nerves, speech, have digestion issues. So you need to, that's another thing to look at when you're looking at it in a medical astrology, is that where the degrees between the mind or the Mercury and the Sun. Mine are like right next to each other, 1 degree apart. And so I have, and I'm a Scorpio. So I got a lot of water coming through with my Mercury.
This is me too, Brenda. I'm 21 degrees.
Okay. Yeah. What of Scorpio?
Yeah, I brought my chart this time.
Oh, good, good. So where's your Mercury?
It's in Scorpio,
Okay, so
which is my sign. You and I
okay.
have the same
So
sun
what's
sign.
the degrees between your Sun and Mercury? Is it
Oh, wait, I think I read the chart wrong. So under Scorpio, the sun is 10 degrees,
okay? All right. Cool.
but I don't know where it is compared to Mercury.
Okay.
Doesn't
All right.
matter.
We'd have to look at your chart.
Yeah.
So your body tissues would be nervous system, lungs, intestines, and thyroid. So those would be the triggering points for Mercury in your chart. So if it's in a prominent place, or place like the house, there's different, and I didn't get into the houses because I know this is like way too complicated. So just know that Mercury covers nervous system, lungs, intestines, and thyroid, and it also, the tissue state would be wind tension. Okay, so it would have to do with your lungs, pneumonia, things like that. And then a good example is peppermint, because we like peppermint. Peppermint gives you a zing to it. And moose peppermint loves to it's like a breeze. It's quick, it's cooling, it's clear, it sharpens the mind, and it smooths the belly.
Okay.
So we need to remember that peppermint clears the head and settles the tummy. So if you have problems with and you can just smell it. So where's my peppermint? So when you open up a jar of peppermint, I mean, wow, it really, opens up your pores, that menthol in the leaves. So that works out well. So I highly, if you got sinus conditions, things like that, peppermint is your friend. All right, so Mercury, remember, Mercury moves through the nerves, lungs, and the gut. If you're out of balance, it shows up through scattered thoughts, nervous stomach, and restless tension. So with Gemini, when we talk about Gemini, which is an air sign, Gemini is I speak. Now I have a Gemini moon, and my brain, there's a lot of dialogue going on in my brain. My brain is constantly talking to me. So, and it's overwhelming. And then Virgo is I analyze. So they want to analyze everything. They want all the back information, charts, all that kind of stuff. All right, next one is Mars. Now Mars is obviously it's a fire element, and it's also has dual is water. Now is governed rulership is Scorpio. Now Scorpio has 2 planets that rule. Now Mars is the old system that Scorpio was ruled under. So, and then the more modern astrologers will use Pluto as the ruler of Scorpio. So depending, so now what they do is that they use both. So we know that Mars is hot. It's fire, sparks flying, iron glowing. Its home is in Aries, and again, it's both fiery and bold. So Aries is I am. Aries is the beginning of the cycle. Their flame is just growing. By the time you get to Leo or Sagittarius, just think of the 4 seasons. it builds, the fire builds. So in Aries, your fire is relatively small. It's the first zodiac sign of the year. It's the spring. So think of it as a small, keep just kind of taking the chill off as you go through the seasons. It gets bigger, it's roaring, it's hot. That's usually, summer. And then by the time you get to Sagittarius, it's embers. It's simmering. Oh, let me see. The blood. So it covers blood, courage, and action. And then we like ginger as either fresh or dried. Now I have dried ginger here. And it has, that sweet, spicy smell to it, has a bite to it. So I like to add dried ginger to teas if I'm going to have them for a shelf life. But it really has a sharp, spicy scent to it. Oh, we're not.
What about ginger?
Okay, so the next one, so we need to remember that ginger is the ember you taste. It's a slice of light fire in the belly, stirring the blood and courage. So we need to remember that ginger warms, energizes, and moves the blood. All right, so Mars energy is pushing, another thing that we need to remember with related to Scorpio specifically is that Mars is a pushing. It pushes, the Scorpio sometimes it overextends. So I'm not you can overdo it. You gotta, that's a personality characteristic that you need to keep in mind. So wherever Mars is in your chart and what house it's in, that's the house that's the area of your body that's going to be triggered. So I lack, the other thing is the elements. Okay, so when you look at your elements in your birth chart, I lack fire. So I really need to be taking ginger, but I don't particularly care for the taste. So I want a different fire herb to help me warm, like cinnamon. I like cinnamon. So, any questions?
No. Good. Martina's here.
Oh, hi, Martina. How are you? All right. So, next one. We have Venus. Now, Venus is air, it, again, is a duality. It has two signs that are ruled. So, that it rules. Earth and air. Again, the two, it's like polar opposites. It's cool and moist. And this is, related to blood, courage, and action. So again, Venus is the mirror of beauty. She rules Taurus. And do I have this wrong? Yeah, Taurus and Libra, where we learn value, love, and balance. Now, Taurus's keywords are I have a life. I have, they're very much into material things. They want a good life. They like beauty. Libra, which is air, is I balance. I balance my life. Taurus is all about acquiring, is building that life, digging in, building those roots. Taurus is an earth sign. They're into value and balance and harmony and love. They're great. Sometimes they're great lovers. It flows, Venus flows through the kidneys. Oh, we've got the next. So Venus flows through the kidneys, skin, and reproductive waters. When you're out of balance, fluids leak or stagnate, and beauty feels dull. So our damp and relaxation, dampness, our tissues, we kind of, you know, kind of sag our our little arms under here. So the herb that I picked is rose petals, lemon balm, or lavender. Now, lavender can be a bitter, so you gotta probably match that with something else and not have so much. I wouldn't use lavender as your primary uh, herb. I would, and a little goes a long way. You don't want to overdo the lavender. So
Okay.
you can infuse lavender in milk and then strain it off, and you can have lavender milk in your tea or your ice cream. I do use
You're not a bitters person, right, Brenda?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I do have a lavender bitter that I do add to my morning routine.
Okay.
And that takes the edge off. Uh,
Yeah, I have to remember to put in just a little bit or just keep the steeping time short
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
because
don't
I'm not a bitters person.
yeah, you don't want to over steep. Depending on some plants, you may want to have it steep for 10 to 15 minutes. Other plants like uh, green tea or lavender, maybe 30 seconds is all you need. It's a quick dip. Rose petals are different. You want to leave them longer. In fact, that's what's in here. And my tea is rose petals, green tea, hawthorn, er, agrimony, go-to cola for the brain, agrimony for the just chilling out. The green tea is to give me a little less caffeine. I can't do a lot of caffeine these days. I used to be able to drink a lot of coffee. Now I can't. And I had matcha. I made myself a matcha latte this morning for the first time. I don't know. Does anybody like matcha?
I love matcha latte.
Yeah, it's got to be made right. I don't think I made it right.
It's good with coconut milk too.
Okay, that's good
I
to know.
know
I
I
like
like a little bit
cashew.
of sweetener in it, like maple syrup.
Okay, so I didn't put a sweetener in it. And it was like, ooh, yeah, it was all right. Um, all right. So rose unfolds like a heart opening. Lemon balm hums like a gentle harp. Both sweeten and harmonize. So the takeaway here is Venus herbs bring sweetness and balance to your life. So if your nerves are raw, again, lemon balm is another great herb for children. When they come home from school, you should be shoving them a glass of lemon balm in their hands, and just when the minute they walk in the door, because they are frazzled. Their days, of it's a great take a breath, relax, but it doesn't knock you out. That's what I like best about lemon balm, is that it doesn't knock you out, doesn't make you sleepy.
So Brenda, I have a question. It's Heather.
Yeah.
So, I have roses in the garden. It doesn't matter what kind of roses.
Mm-mm. As long as you don't spray them.
No, I don't spray. And then, so I dry them first.
No, you can use them fresh.
Oh, okay. And same with lemon balm. I think I have a big plant out back. Does that need to be dried as well? No.
No, I usually use it fresh. But
I
the
I
other
have
thing,
yellow rose petals. Does that matter?
say that again.
I have yellow roses as well.
No, as long as it's an organic rose, if it has a scent to it, that's what you want, is
Yeah.
the fragrance of the rose petals
Okay.
versus some of these big roses have no scent, but they're gorgeous and they're impressive. So if you're there for show or scent, I'm more on the scent side. I want scented roses. Lemon balm, I steep cold. you don't always have to use boiling hot water. I find that the essential oils do well when in any mint. It could be peppermint, lemon balm, um, Tulsi, holy basil, all the mint family. Sometimes cool water is best, and the plants release their their essential oils faster, and there's a deeper taste. You can really taste it better versus the boiling water kind of cooks everything out and evaporates. The cool water holds that in there, and you can taste the mint.
Brenda, it's Martina. Does this include lemon verbena?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. The lemon verbena is one of the best. If you really want a strong lemony taste, lemon verbena is great. I like to cook white fish with lemon verbena. I'll poach it. I'll put the leaves on top of the white fish, and then I poach it, and it really the lemon flavor really comes through in the fish.
Ooh, I gotta remember that.
Bobby rice too.
Yeah. So okay, our next planet is Jupiter. Expansive Jupiter. Woo! Jupiter affects us because it's a massive planet. Okay, so it's fire and water. It's huge. It's massive in our solar system. You know, it's generous in its oh, we got a chat. Hang on. Okay, Sue says I made an incredible blend in this heat: lavender, spearmint, hibiscus, damiana, lemon verbena. Ooh, wow, that sounds amazing. Licorice and rose. What a great combination.
It's so good, Brenda, and it tastes like strawberries, and there's no strawberries in it.
You know, I'm gonna take a copy of this. I don't know if
But you could add strawberries to it,
yeah, let me see if I can make a copy.
or some kind of berry would be nice.
Yeah.
I love creating tea blends.
All right. So, yeah, I do too. All right, I'm keeping that. That's a great idea. I'm surprised I could copy and paste that. All right, that's a cool. Thank you. I love that idea.
I'll send it to you in Facebook Messenger.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That would be great. I want to try that. And I got all the ingredients too. All right. So for you ladies over there, I don't know if you can see it. It's the tea blend is lavender, spearmint, hibiscus, damiana, lemon verbena, marshmallow, which is a plant, licorice root, and roses. What a great combination. So Jupiter is a moist and damp element, I guess. You know, it's wisdom, protection, and growth. So if you want your business to grow, you want to look to Jupiter. If you want, it's also related to finances. So if you're into location astrology, you want to live on your Jupiter line. You want to be as close as possible to Jupiter. So Jupiter is like the oak tree. It's wide-limbed, it's generous. Its homes are in Sagittarius and Pisces, where we seek wisdom and faith. And Sagittarius, again, this is a fire sign, but again, they're at the end, going towards the end of the season, and they're smoldering. So the I perceive is their motto. I perceive things. And then Pisces, which is a water sign, is I believe you can do it, and those are the type of personalities. So growth, wisdom, faith, philosophy. Okay, these are all elements, characteristics of Jupiter. So for the body state, it affects liver, arteries, hips, thighs, and digestion. So if you have a prominent Jupiter in your chart, chances are you're going to have liver, arteries, hips, thighs, and digestion issues. And again, it's damp and stagnation. Now, stagnation could be related to your lymph nodes, getting unclogged, getting things flowing. And so the herb that I picked is dandelion. You can do the tea, either the leaves or the root or fresh greens. If you can eat dandelion fresh, that's all the better. And again, dandelion is a bitter, and it's perfect for stagnation, dampness, and stagnation. It's a natural diuretic. It naturally helps you get rid of the fluid. So if you full moon, so this is how you do it. So if you know that you retain a lot of water, especially around the full moon, and if you're having your moon cycle, I would start, and I've done this, start eating fresh greens, dandelion greens, and then have a dandelion root tea. Sometimes you can get it in a supplement, but it helps the liver. It helps kind of get rid of those toxins that are in the liver.
I have a question, Brenda.
Yes.
What if you're peeing a lot and feel really dry? Then do you just use quite a lot of moistening herbs like chickweed and marshmallow and things like that?
Something that has mucilage in it, I think.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would go more for the water herbs. Try and drink more fluids as well. So if
Yeah.
you're too dry and you know it, then maybe dandelion isn't, because that's just going to compound. So
Yeah, I don't use dandelion very much. I usually use a little bit in the spring.
yeah, and that's a good tonic. Doing the dandelions in the spring to just kind of get things flowing, get that chi flowing. Okay, so we have Saturn, lovely Saturn. Saturn is not my friend. I have a strong Saturn in my chart, and it's given me, I don't know what I was thinking when I was a little energy ball coming to this planet, and why I wanted Saturn in my fourth house, because it is hell to have Saturn in your fourth house. Your life is going to be hard, because the fourth house has to do with relationships and family, and then and also the eighth house. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one to have. So Saturn is earth and air, and it's cold and dry. And it's the mountain you climb. Saturn's the mountain you climb. It's cold, it's high, it's enduring. Capricorn rules and Aquarius, where discipline and structure live. So if you're not a disciplined person, so if you have a lot of water in your chart and you're not a disciplined person like me, you're kind of airy fairy, kind of in and out, your moods. Yeah, because I have a lot of water in my chart. I am, depression is a biggie. And I tend to have a lot of mood swings. Saturn will come along and kick me in the what. And depending, now that I'm aware of this in my chart, now I am more proactive and I am more alert to those mood swings, to what's going on with the moon. That is a trigger for me, because it's Gemini and moon, because I have a Gemini moon. So I'm very much aware of where as Saturn moves through the astrological calendar in the present day, it's triggering. It goes through all the signs and they get triggered. So especially it really gets triggered when it's in the house and sign that you were born under. That's when things kind of get blown up. And Saturn does returns to your birth sign every 27 years. So your first return is 7. It's 20 when you're 27, anywhere between 27 and 28. And then your second return is 60, between 60, 67 and 60. And so that, so you think about if you haven't hit that lovely age yet, or if you can remember back what happened, if there's any major events that happen in your life, chances are, depending on the house and sign that it was in, that was triggered. So for me, it was family. So Capricorn, it's ruled by Capricorn and Aquarius. So again, structure, discipline, time, boundaries. I've had to work on boundaries. I've had to work on just being more disciplined and have more structure in my life. All of these have been triggered. So the tissue states are bones, teeth, joints, chronic illness, and aging. And again, it's cold and depression. So again, if we're out of balance, we get chills, stiffness, depression, and weight gains weight over time. Yeah, you can also substitute. I picked for this nettles. Now there's horsetail. You can do horsetail or nettle. I chose nettle because it was an herb that is fairly common. Now, Sue, do you have experience with horsetail? I have it, and I forget.
I love horsetail. Like as a plant, I've always been drawn to it. And I can't do nettle. It's too drying and I get a funny taste, not taste, funny feeling in my mouth.
Yeah.
So that's really good to know. I'm gonna make sure I get some horsetail.
Yeah, so you can substitute that out. Yeah, I need nettles. Now, if you have a lot of water in your chart, nettles would be something to use. Nettles is one of the top herbs that it comes back to me every time. It's also high in minerals.
Rising
Now,
sun.
our produce that is grown is the ground, the earth that it's grown in is stripped of minerals, nutrients and minerals. So a lot of our vegetables are deficient in minerals. So nettles grows wild. You can't cultivate it, and it's high in minerals. So and you can you have to prepare again. You don't want to eat it fresh because it has those prickers on it. So there's a way that you can process it that makes it easier to use as a tea or as a fresh green. Now I like nettles in soup. Um, and also you can use it in place of spinach. So last summer when I was taking my elements classes up in Vermont, the teachers that we were working with in the kitchen, they took the nettles and they had, we all had gloves on and we stripped them off the stem, and then we parboiled them. We put them in a pot and we kind of shocked them, and then we processed them a little bit more, and then we added them to, I think we had lasagna, nettle lasagna. I think we had, there was something else that we had that was a nettle soup, which was so, you want talk about comfort soup, add nettles to your soup. And this is that time of year. um, and so I buy it. I don't have nettle. I didn't have nettle on the property on Thompson Street, and I don't have any nettle here in the on the where I'm at presently. So so I have to buy it, and I do use it a lot in my teas. I don't know what I did with it. It's around here somewhere. All
I
right.
had a really interesting experience in the last couple weeks. We planted a garden at our new place, and I saw this, like I've been pulling, plants I don't want, and there are many, but there was this one that looked a little bit like a mountain ash tree, and we don't want to start growing trees in our tiny backyard. So I plucked it, and it was like, oh, you're a baby nettle. And like I had like the prickly feeling, like
Yeah,
I got like raspberry prickles in
yeah.
my finger like for 2 days. I put it back in the ground
Okay,
and
you
I
become.
said, you showed up for a reason. So I'm just gonna leave you here and we're gonna see
Yeah.
what happens. So it'll be really interesting to see if it starts growing a patch of nettle.
Yeah, I would like to grow up nettle at the herbary. I just have to, I don't think there's any nettle up there. I haven't,
There's no nettle around here. It's really weird that this tiny little thing showed up, but
I wonder
it
if a
might have been
bird.
in the city compost
Yeah, yeah, it could have
that we
been.
brought in.
Yeah, I was gonna say either that or a bird deposited it, but no,
Yeah.
you use city
Yeah.
compost. That's probably somebody yeah, you got the seeds. That's cool. I was always hesitant to plant nettle on Thompson Street because I was afraid it was going to take over. And then, Paul was going to get mad at me because he already had issues with poison ivy, and then I add the nettle, and that would I would have
I
been.
like to see what plants do because I know they're part of my field,
Yeah,
right? And not like, I mean, the earth fields, my
yeah.
ethereal field.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah. Well, cool. Let's see what happens. Keep me posted on the nettle, the baby nettle. That's
And
cool.
it didn't die
Oh, okay.
after I plucked it.
Now it likes cool, moist soil, and it's not big in the sun. So apparently, wherever you put it, it seems to like
It's
the
in
area.
it's in direct sun,
Really?
but we've had a ton of rain this year.
Okay. All right. I have to do some more hunting around on the herbary to see whether I have nettle. I don't think I have nettle on there. I know it grows in the area, but
Just call it in, Brenda,
I
and
know I
you'll
really
get it somehow through
I
a person. It'll come.
I may have to, yes, I may have to introduce it, but yeah, that's definitely on my list of things to do. All right, so Saturn herbs support your frame and keep you grounded. So if you lack earth in your chart, if you lack water in your chart, metals is the thing to go to, all right? But if it's too drying, if you're too dry, then don't add something else. Use like the horsetail. All right, so we're going to talk about the outer plants. So when those were the inner plants. Inner plants is what guides our daily life and body. It's internal. It's what we, for the most part, can control. All right. Outer plants is the collective unconscious. It's hidden patterns. It's big shifts. It's shadow material. It's external. It's what the universe throws at us. So, these outer planets is what they do to us. It's the energy that comes at us and how you are able to navigate that. So, again, this is the perfect doorway into journaling and self reflection. So, our first friend is Uranus. Not my friend. Uranus and Saturn are the two planets that have caused me a lot of personal angst and pain because, and I'm near my Uranus line, geographic line, and it is the planet of surprise. Okay, so it's ruled by Aquarius. It's sudden change, it's innovation, it's also considered freedom, and it disrupts the nervous system. It's a disruption planet. It's a shock. It'll shakes you to your core. So my Uranus, if I remember right, is in the, I can't remember. Hang on.
That's what it looks like. Oh.
Let's see where my Uranus is at. My Uranus is in Sagittarius, so it's a fire sign. So it is, I don't know what house is this. Where's Sagittarius? So yeah, it's in Sagittarius. So it's like 6 degrees. So it's really close to my Venus. I mean, we're not talking not far apart. So yeah, when Uranus gets triggered, and also this is a higher octave of Mercury. So Mercury is that communication, Mercury retrograde. We hear that a lot. Oh my God, things go crazy, communication, anything electrical could go haywire. Well, Uranus is a higher octave. It's up there. It's on full volume. So I'm not a big fan of Uranus. But the gift that Uranus gives you is freedom, originality, breaking old patterns. Okay. So I understand what Uranus, and this is stuff that you have no control over. This is stuff that comes at you. Whether you want to live in a cave and hide from the world or not, Uranus is going to come find you, and it's going to make changes whether you ask for it or not. So a shadow ally herb is mugwort because it helps with dreams, it helps with insight, it's sudden flashes of inspiration. So mugwort is an interesting plant herb because you can not only drink it, but you can make dream pillows out of it. You can add lavender, and there's one other herb, maybe it's chamomile to it. So either way, you can make a dream pillow out of these, and you can stick it in your pillow. You can also drink it before bedtime, and then you can let your subconscious kind of talk to you. You can meet it. It's not a dangerous thing. It's not the underworld. It's very much just kind of you consciously meeting your unconscious, your dream, your shadow self, and having that conversation. And a journal prompt is, what old mental pattern is ready to be broken? Whether you're beating yourself up, you're on this mental loop. I'm not worthy. I'm not this. I'm not that. We have these mental loops that we go on. Mugwort can help break that. Neptune. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Okay, Neptune is ruled by Pisces, which is water. It's dreams, it's mysticism, it's unity, it's illusion. But the shadow self can be confusion, escapism, addiction, and again, illusion. Water signs get lost in Neptune. They can really, the mysticism, all that kind of stuff, you can actually step out and live in a airy fairy kind of dream world. And so if you want to be grounded, if your Neptune happens to be strong in your chart, you want to find herbs that are grounding. So the gift that Neptune gives us is unity, compassion, and mystical love. So we have lavender, which is a soothing and clears the fog and clearing illusions, and blue vervain. Now I also like gotu kola, and also Rosemary helps with clearing that fogginess. Blue vervain is an adaptogen, right, Sue? Or is that a nervine? I think it's
I don't think it's an adaptogen.
okay. I forget. So these are a classification of herbs that kind of it's like an antidepressant, but it's a natural antidepressant. So blue vervain you want to take at bedtime. And if you don't find that it's working at bedtime, then you can take it in the morning when you first get up. But it kind of takes the edges off. Lavender is a nervine. Lavender helps with light depression. It also helps again takes the edge off, and it kind of brings you down back to earth. So the journal
According to Gaia, vervain is nervine,
it
which I
is
thought.
it's a nervine. Okay, it's not
Yeah.
both. It's not an adaptogen and a nervine.
Maybe. I've never heard of it as an adaptogen, but maybe.
Yeah, no, maybe it's just a nervy. There was some one that was kind of both, and I forget which one it is. All right, so it's a nervy. So either way, it helps with your mental health. It helps kind of help you clear the fog out of your brain, and stop having you live in la la land. So journal prompts is where do I blur reality and how I invite clarity. Again, we all wish and dream. We all want to live in a fantasy world. I mean, boy, I like to escape.
Yeah.
That is my favorite because I have so much water. I blur the lines. Neptune is not as strong in my chart, but I can go off into la la land and create these fantasy scenarios, good or bad. And sometimes it gets me into trouble. So,
So Brenda, I've never heard of blue vervain.
mhm.
Do you I find it and put it in my garden, or where do
Yeah,
you?
you can grow it. You can grow it. I would strongly suggest that you go to Strictly Medicinal Herbs online. Blue vervain is not going to be, it's not sold in your local nursery.
Right.
Blue vervain also grows wild, I believe, here in Connecticut.
I think of it as the workaholic with self-esteem issues herb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So you can I've seen it grow wild at the park in Glastonbury. But again, I don't know whether they spray. So I'm a little hesitant to harvest the blue vervain. So it's on the edges of the grass where they don't mow, but even still, I don't know whether they spray for ticks and all that other kind of stuff. So
So it looks like lavender.
yeah, it has a little spiral, little purpley spiral. If you're Googling it, yeah. It's a pretty plant, but I would see if you can grow it in your garden.
Is that the same? You treat it like what'd you tell me? Dry and sun?
Yeah, you would dry it. I wouldn't necessarily put it in the sun. You would want a dry you want to dry your herbs actually in a dry, dark space, like an
Oh, I mean, when you grow it where?
full sun, I believe. Hang on, let me double check. Now you got me questioning myself here. Blue. I've seen it in on the edges. It's a North American perennial. It's a wildflower. Um,
Is it
Wet conditions. Prefers moist to wet condition. Found in meadows along streams and rain gardens. Requires full to partial sun. Go ahead, Sue.
I was just gonna ask you, is it Verbena officinalis? Do you know?
family.
No, No, I don't
Do you
think.
know what?
Verbena hasta, Hastata.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, no, that's a different verbena. Okay, so you want the verbena hastata, Hastata. That's the medicinal one. So be careful when you go. If you happen to find it in a nursery, you want to make sure you have the right genius. Okay. All right, so we have Pluto, lovely Pluto. Pluto is a higher octave of Mars. So Mars is the is fire. It's dry. It's barren. Mars characteristics. Where's my Mars stuff? Um, Sun. Hang on. There we go.
This is the one where you have to watch if you have this in your chart for addictions, hey?
Yep. Yep. It can be right. It's a masculine. So yes, Mars, you need to be very careful. They express themselves very differently in Scorpio versus Aries. Aries tends to be, too much externalized, where Scorpio is internal and hidden. This is where, we go deep. Um, it's the seasonal, and also it's a yin, it's seasonal aspect, especially in underworld journey. So if we have Mars strong in our chart, then yes, we have to be careful about the underworld, the darker side. Again, it's fear, it's control, it's obsession, and it's also destruction. So I can easily be obsessed with something, if something that I'm very interested in. I'm also very fearful. That's a very easy thing for me. So my Pluto is very prominent, and I believe it's in my 11th house, that and Uranus. So the 11th house is has to do with, again, it's not the 12th house, but the 11th house is represents the community, social groups, as the hopes and dreams and aspirations. So I can go down that road. It also has present friendships. So it's our social networks, quality of our friends, and the path of achieving our deepest desires. But for a Scorpio, it also we can cross over to some pretty crazy stuff. Yes, addiction is one of them. So the gift that Pluto gives us is transformation, rebirth, empowerment. Black cohosh, if the shadow ally herb, or nettles for deep power, underworld strength. So I know nettles isn't going to work for you, but what about black cohosh?
Oh, it was awful for me.
Yeah, I would go back
It
to
just
mugwort.
made me hemorrhage.
Yeah, you got to be careful with black cohosh.
I'm a yarrow girl.
Yeah, that yarrow would work. Yarrow would work. So yeah, black cohosh, I would be careful, ladies. It's not, I mean, if you're menopausal or you're going into menopause, I mean, I threw this up there. I've originally deleted it in the slide, and then I thought, okay, I'll put it back just because not everybody's my age, in case whoever watches this in the future. But just again, if look at the elements in your chart, where do you lack? Again, if you lack if you have too much water and you need to be dried out, nettles is your perfect go-to. Now, yarrow, so Sue, you're using yarrow because you're too dry, correct?
I don't generally use yarrow, but I always plant it and I always have it around me. It's like its energy is so powerful, I don't need to ingest it.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah,
little.
I had the wrong yarrow. You want white yarrow. Okay,
Right.
I learned that mistake. I had yarrow growing in my garden, and it was yellow, which was the worst one you could possibly have, which has zero, little to no medicinal. And then there's pink yarrow, and those don't have any medicinal. So you want the white yarrow.
I just looked.
Well, pink has a little bit.
Yeah, I had the yellow. I had the wrong, so I
Yeah.
ripped it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am.
So instead of black cohosh, I found, and this was a homeopath who told me this. I used Don Quay or Angelica
Yep.
instead. So for people who are listening, um, that like for my constitution with lots of water, even though I'm dry, the
Yeah.
Don Quay or Angelica. What's the suffix of that botanical name?
Angelica or Don Quai?
Y- Well, it's the same plant. I'll look it up.
Uh, Angelica root is not Don Quai. It's different.
There's two kinds.
There's Norwegian Angelica. Is that the one that you're talking about? Don Quai is a Chinese herb.
Mhm.
I take that. That is a great root, ladies. If you need to take the edge off, that is an amazing, especially when you have like menstrual cramps or anemia or skin conditions. Dun Quai is absolutely amazing.
It's also in English called Chinese Angelica.
Okay, so that's different than regular Angelica. So, ladies,
Well, there's Angelica, Archangelica. Yeah, okay. It's called Angelica sinensis.
okay, yeah. So just go by Jung Kwai. Just not to because I don't want anybody taking the wrong one. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Dong Quai is helps with the phytoestrogens, which are plant compounds that mimic the effects of estrogen in the body. It's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Um, Menopause symptoms, hot flashes, sweats. There's a lot of scientific studies done on Dong Quai root. You can get it in the actual capsule. You can take it in the capsule. But if you're pregnant or breastfeeding or taking blood thinners, or you have a liver or kidney, or allergic to celery or carrots, do not take it because it's in the carrot family.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I like Dun Quai. Thanks for mentioning that. That's a great herb. Great substitute for black cohosh. Okay, so it was 223. Okay, so the inner planets, the 7 inner planets that we just went over, it has to do with our daily herbs and moods. It's internal. It's what we can control for the most part. We can help ourselves with our own health by our diet, by, hacking some of our symptoms with herbs. Again, but then we also have things that are out of our control. It's what happens to us, which are the triggers, which are the outer planets, and these are for deep soul patterns and shadow work, internal work, external things that we just don't have control over. I didn't have control over losing my family. It was a trigger in my Uranus. It could have been possibly predicted. Well, my daughter, we all knew that, she had a short life expectancy, but we just didn't know when and how. Again, Uranus was and Saturn were very much involved in what happened it happened to me. It was an external event that happened to me. So I know when I look back at that time period, Saturn and Uranus were both activated at the same time. So that doesn't mean that's going to happen for everybody, but for me, it was catastrophic. So, all right. So just FYI, on my podcast, I have did agrimony, the herb that teaches us when to remove the mask. So my podcast I have posted about a week ago. That's up. That's episode 27. So check it out. It's on Spotify. You can also find it on Amazon. If you type in the New England Herbary, you can listen to it for free off of Amazon. It is supposed to be on iTunes, but for some reason they didn't update. They haven't updated their thing, so I don't know why they're doing that. So I may have to go into iTunes and manually upload the episode. But ladies, you have anything to add or to comment on?
It's always great, Brenda. I just find I learn so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And ladies.
Well, you're inspiring because I want to get into doing these things and I feel really nervous about technology. So thank you because like you do it anyway,
I
right? And
do.
that's what needs to be done because you learn by doing, right?
Yes. And again, yes. And it also, this helps me understand my studies better by teaching.
Right.
You learn more. I don't know, I'm getting more out of this for myself because then I hope you guys, I hope you're getting something out of it, that this is making some sort of sense, because this is such a complicated topic, and I'm trying to just take little bites and present it in a way that is understandable. I mean, I know it's confusing.
Well, I like what Rosemary Gladstar says. She said, you know, if you take the wrong herb for your constitution or your condition or whatever, it's not going to do a lot of damage, right?
No.
But if you take the right herb, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
That's what I love about herbs because most herbs are very safe, like the ones that we discuss in herbalism in the herbalism world.
Yeah.
Most of the ones we use generally are very safe plants.
Yes. There's with a few, depending on, when you start taking pharmaceuticals, then you're going to get into it. But yes, for the most part, most herbs are safe.
And like the casual conversation too, that like your classes are smaller and we can talk to one another.
Yeah. That's what I like. Very intimate.
Yeah.
So.
I loved it. Thank you. I think I have a few plants I want to put in my garden next year.
I know, me too.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Martina, thank you for coming and visiting. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Martina's in Heather and I's little spiritual group.
Yeah,
She wants to get into herbs. Martina wants to become an herbalist, Sue.
Well, that's still to be determined. It's very interesting, but
it's a lot, huh?
It's a lot.
That's cool. Well, I am just so excited about the galactic astrology because I'm so in touch with my galactic heritage.
Wow. What is